To maximize the performance of your FRD hydraulic breaker, as well as protect your investment, proper setup during the initial installation is very important. When getting started, confirm the breaker is the correct size for your carrier. This can be done on our website using our compatibility guide found at frdusa.com. Refer to your hydraulic breaker owner's manual for flow and pressure specifications. Be sure to read and understand the operating instructions before operating the machine. Step 1. Make sure your work area is free of obstacles or other hazards. Be sure to wear eye protection, gloves, and a hard hat. Have an FRD owner's manual, breaker specific, on hand for guidance, as well as a flow meter. An owner's manual can be obtained through the FRD dealer link. Step 2. Check the breaker gas charges in the backhead and accumulator. Step 3. Properly check and adjust the machine specifications. Some machines' pressure and flows can be set within the monitor. However, others may require manual adjustments at the auxiliary valve. For a manual adjustment, see your original equipment manufacturer's owner's manual for the carrier. Next, you will perform a pressure and flow test on the machine. Ensure that the carrier is at normal operating temperature. Ensure that the shutoff valves are closed and connect the flow meter to the auxiliary lines located at the end of the stick. Once connections are tight and connected in line to the circuit, open the shutoff valves and the flow control valve on the flow meter. Start the carrier and activate the auxiliary circuit. Adjust the flow control valve until the pressure reading is within the required range of the breaker. If you are unable to reach the required pressure, adjust your auxiliary relief valve maximum setting either on the monitor or manually, 500 to 700 psi over the breaker operating pressure. The relief valve must be set to prevent high-pressure oil from damaging the hoses or other components should the shutoff valve be closed, or another obstruction prevents oil flow. Refer to your carrier's manual for setting instructions. Step 4. Working steel installation. Prepare the breaker by installing the working steel. Step 5. Installing the breaker on the machine. Position the breaker within reach of the carrier. Attach the breaker to the carrier. Ensure the shutoff valves are closed on the carrier. Connect the breaker's hose whips to the carrier, ensuring all connections are tight with a pressure gauge teed in on the pressure line. Ensure the shutoff valves are open on the carrier. Have the operator curl the bucket cylinder in and out to check the hoses to ensure correct hose lengths. Step 6. Grease the hydraulic breaker. Position the breaker vertically, resting on its points, and apply down pressure. Step 7. Operate the breaker. Position the breaker in an area suitable for testing. Operate the breaker observing the reading on the pressure gauge. The needle on the gauge will be bouncing between two pressure readings. Use the average of these two readings. If the pressure is correct for the breaker, no other adjustments are required. If the pressure reading is too high or too low, adjustments to the machine flow or valve adjuster may be required. If the pressure reading is too low, not on the higher end of the pressure range, try to increase the flow from the carrier. If you're unable to increase the flow from the carrier, the valve adjuster on the breaker will need to be turned clockwise in quarter-turn increments to increase the internal operating pressure of the breaker. If the pressure reading is higher than the max operating pressure of the breaker, then reduce the flow from the carrier until the reading on the gauge is accurate. The breaker will perform best with the flow and pressure at the maximum the breaker is designed for. Step 8. Setup completion. Close both the shutoff valves on the carrier. Uninstall the pressure gauge T. Reinstall the pressure whip hose. The breaker is now ready to operate. If the breaker is transferred to a different carrier, follow these same setup procedures.